Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. I've got the old faithful out because I've got a stinking cold and I thought I'd wrap up. It's May and I'm wrapped up in a dressing gown. Go figure, eh? Anyway, 5 versus 5, Matchroom versus Queensberry is coming up. And I thought what I'd do is I'd do a prediction video for each of them, the obvious thing to do, and then I'll tot up my predictions and see who I think is going to win out of Matchroom and Queensberry. And I thought I would start with kind of the wild card one, I think it is, and that is WILLY Hutchinson against Craig Spider Richards. Because Hutchinson, I really was surprised to hear his name mentioned. Not because he's no good, but because it just wasn't a name that popped into my head when I was thinking, I wonder who they're going to choose. Now, Hutchinson, I thought he was older than this. In actual fact, he's 25 years old and he's Scottish. He's from Carstairs. He was for quite a while, for most of his career actually, was a super middleweight, 168. He's got 17 wins with 13 KOs, 1 defeat, which was a stoppage. And it was that stoppage that resulted in him moving up to 175. The stoppage was against Lennox Clark. He got done in 5 rounds. And Lennox at the time, I think that was for the British and Commonwealth titles, I think. But Lennox was looking good. Lennox actually he had 1 defeat at the time, but he suffered his last fight actually back in 2022, he hasn't fought since, was to Mark Heffron. And we know what happened to Mark Heffron recently. I mean, only a few days ago, he got knocked out in 30 seconds by Christian Mbili. So you could argue that Hutchinson's defeat to Clark, although it was back in 2021, doesn't give a good sort of image, does it? It's not a good look. Having said that, perhaps he was tight at the weight. If you go back to 2021, he'd have only been, 22 years old. You know, as we always say, defeats don't define a career. It's how you come back. So I wouldn't read too much into that. But if you look at Willy's, career, his resume, there aren't really many killers on there, to be honest with you. I mean, he fought the German Martin Huben in his last fight. That was earlier this year. That was in March. He stopped him in 2 rounds. Huben was 17-2 at the time. But that sort of fringe European level is about as far as he's gone, if you take Lennox Clark out of the mix. He hasn't really fought anyone. When I was sifting through his resume on BoxRec before I did this video, I wasn't really seeing anyone that jumped out and impressed me. However, at 25, he's going to have, plenty of ambition. This is his big chance. This is all of their big chance. He's going to have that feeling of, it was down to the weight, that defeat to Clark. So I'm really going to prove it now. He's also got a chance to, in a sense, gate crash, because Spider Richards has already fought for a world title and he's expected to win this fight. I don't know. I can't remember how old Spider is. Is he in his early 30s now? Or am I imagining that? Anyway, as I say, he's in he's a former world title challenger already. So if Willy was to beat him, that's going to be a massive confidence boost for WILLY Hutchinson. And I think it would be a bit of an upset, because I don't think there's any doubt that Craig Spider Richards is definitely the favourite in this fight. Now, if you look at Spider's record, he's got 18 wins with 11 KOs, and he's got 3 defeats, and all 3 of those defeats are on points. He's a former British champ. He knocked out Shakan Pitters in 2020 to win that title. Pitters at the time was undefeated, knocked him out in 9 rounds. I've seen Pitters live, actually. It's freakish how tall he is. He's 6'6", and he's light heavy, 6'6". Following that victory, Spider fought Dimitri Bivol and gave him a very good fight, lost a unanimous decision, but 2 of those cards were very, very close. I think a little bit too close, to be honest with you. And he's got a weird draw against Chad Sugden. That was before the Pitters fight. That was in 2019. The thing about Spider is, if you look at his recent form, he fought once in 2022 because he fought Joshua Buatsi and lost over 12 rounds. He didn't fight at all in 2023. And then he fought Boris Crichton and stopped him in 7 rounds in February of this year. So he hasn't been that active. And as the saying goes, there is no excuse for, or there is no substitute for keeping busy. And if I'm right, and Craig, I think Craig's about 33, maybe a little, maybe even be older. Well, maybe not. Maybe sort of 32, 33, I think he is. You got to keep busy. You got to keep busy. And his career, considering his talents, which his talents are considerable, he's not really been as busy and not really been as, his career it's been a bit too stop-start. Because, if you go back to 2017 when he fought Frank Buglioni, when he was undefeated, that was for the British title and he lost a unanimous 12-round decision. He took that at short notice. But he has fought far better quality of opposition, obviously, than Willie. He did Jake Ball in 3 rounds. Jake at the time was one of those Matchroom fighters that was being, kind of groomed for potential stardom. It didn't work out for him. And then, going 12 rounds with Boazzi and Bivol, you can't knock that. That's experience right there. So, I don't know. I definitely think that Willie Hutchinson, despite his age, he's 25, so he's probably 6-7 years younger than Spider. I definitely think he's the underdog. There's no doubt in that he just hasn't got, whichever way you slice and dice it, the experience just isn't there. Now, experience isn't the only thing that can win your fights, but it can damn well help. Having said that, I think that we shouldn't underrate Spider Richards' power, because even though he's got 11 knockouts in 18 contests, I think he hits harder than that. I think he hits hard enough to get your respect and to make you think. And although Hutchinson, it was quite impressive the way he's gone about his business since the Lennox Clark defeat. He's got I think he's had 4 fights and all of them have been by stoppage, but they've been against low-level guys. But it does show that he wants to hurt you, that he wants to get stuck in. And with 13 KOs in 17 contests, okay, fair enough. But he's never been 12 before, and I don't think he's ever done the 10-round distance. Never mind the 12-round distance. So that's another bit of experience that's lacking. Willie is an orthodox fighter, same as Spider, so there won't be that clash of stances. Spider likes pressure. He's kind of got that language style. Willie's a bit sharper, perhaps a bit more conventional, likes to be front-footed. Spider, he can put pressure on you. The way he went after Shakan Pitters was impressive. It's kind of like he recognised that the fight was slipping away and he had to do something. He had to turn the screws. But he does like a bit of counter-punching, Craig Richards. I thought he was actually, to be honest with you, against Bivol, he put the heat on Bivol at points in that fight very, very well. Again, it's kind of like if you force him into a corner, he'll force the issue. He'll come out punching. He'll try to outwork you. He'll try to get in your face. But if you come to him, he's quite content to counterpunch you with, sharp, hurtful punches. I get the feeling that this is going to be relative one-way traffic after the first 3 or 4 rounds. I think Willie Hutchinson will come out looking to be very front-footed. I think Spider will clock him, put him back in his box. Willie will start to feel the power. Craig will, once he's put him back in his box and he's got him perhaps reluctant to come in, I think then you might see, as the rounds tick by, you might see Spider coming forward a bit more gradually, intermittent. As the rounds go on, it's an intermittent increase of pressure. And to be honest with you, I see Craig Richards probably in the middle rounds, 6, 7, taking over and really putting some pressure on Willie Hutchinson. And I think he probably stops Willie in about 8, 9 rounds. I think Willie Hutchinson, even allowing for the fact that the weight may have been a factor against Lennox Clark, I can't really dismiss that defeat, to be honest with you. I know he was young, but I'd like to see him I think if his chin isn't great and Spider clocks him, he'll be in trouble. If his chin holds up at the higher weight, I think it will take Spider a bit longer to get to him. But I see him kind of grinding Willie down in a stoppage in about 8 or 9 rounds. So if that's the case and I'm right, that's going to be 1-0 to Matchroom. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Give me your opinions, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please do. Please spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. And also hit the like button as well, because they count them. Anyway, I'm going off for some Lemsip. Thanks for your time as always, and I will speak to you soon. Watch out for some more preview videos throughout the week. Catch you later. Bye for now.